From the war rooms of Washington to the strategy tables of Beijing, this is what the world is watching. I am Dr. Brian Reuben, and each week we dissect the power plays, policy shifts, and geopolitical risk shaping tomorrow's world. This is clarity for decision makers, bold, unfiltered, and strategic. Welcome. Once upon a time, colonialism came draped in flags and enforced by armies. It built railroads, not for freedom, but for extraction. It laid down borders, not to unify, but to divide and dominate. Today, the flags are gone, but the systems, they've just upgraded. This is what the world is watching. I'm Brian Reuben, and today we take a hard look at how control in the 21st century is no longer about conquering land, but about locking in influence through debts, through data, through digital infrastructure. Let's begin with debts, the oldest form of invincible empire. In the 19th century, it was a gambit that came knocking. Today, it is a memorandum of understanding. Consider Zambia, the first African country to default during the COVID-19 pandemic. Why? Because it owed more than $17 billion with opaque loans scattered between Chinese lenders, Eurobonds, and multilateral banks. Or take a look at Sri Lanka, a $1.4 billion port project funded by Chinese credit failed to deliver returns. And the debt balloons, the government defaulted, and guess who took a port on a 99-year lease? Your guess is as good as mine. This is not foreign aid, it is strategic lending with collateral built into contracts. Some call it infrastructure diplomacy, others call it new colonialism with better branding. And here is a twist. Western institutions like IMF, World Bank, even the Paris Club have been doing this for decades. They just wear nicer seats. The terms currency devaluation, subsidy removal, massive cuts to health and education in the name of fiscal discipline. That's not rescue, that's economic conditioning. Now let's turn to the second frontier, data. If the 20th century was about oil, the 21st century is about information. And for many developing nations, that data doesn't stay home. In Ghana, the national ID databases were processed by foreign tech firms. In Nigeria, telecom infrastructure is owned in large part by outside conglomerates. Across the continent, payment platforms, biometric IDs held records all are increasingly hosted on foreign servers, governed by foreign laws. And when a nation doesn't control its data, it doesn't control its destiny. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When a foreign company can analyze your traffic patterns, spending habits, political affiliation, even your heartbeat from a smartwatch, they know more about your citizens than your own government does. That is a reality. But that's not just vulnerability. That's data colony in real times. And the third piece, the digital locks, Most governments today run on digital systems. Who build those systems? Who maintains them? Who can shut them down? In many cases, the answer isn't local. Take Ethiopia as a case study. In Ethiopia, digital tax systems are hosted abroad. In Kenya, cloud contracts for essential services are managed through global tech giants. In Bangladesh, police databases are maintained by foreign cybersecurity firms. And here's a catch. When the software is proprietary, you don't own the code. When the servers are offshore, you don't control the switch. When AI algorithms are imported, you import the values and the biases that come with them. So you may govern your people, but someone else governs your platform. Now we live in an era where sovereignty is no longer defined by borders. It is defined by bandwidths, encryption keys, and source code access. If a foreign government can deny you access to critical software during crisis, if a tech firm can throttle your service during protests, if your AI surveillance is calibrated by values that don't align with your constitution, are you truly sovereign? Now let's bring this into perspective. This isn't just about global tech firms or ambitious superpowers. It is about a geopolitical model where influence doesn't arrive in tanks. It arrives in APIs, where foreign policy isn't just written in embassies, it's written in terms of service. And don't think for a moment that this is limited to Africa or South Asia. Look at Europe's battles with the United States cloud dominance. Look at Latin America's struggle to digitalize without ceding sovereignty. The pattern is global. The implications are systemic. And here is the real challenge. While empires of the past build walls, today's empires build dependencies. And dependencies, once entrenched, are harder to break than any chain. So what do we do? What should the world be watching? We start by asking uncomfortable questions. Who owns the infrastructure your hospital runs on? Who can access your citizens' database? In under what jurisdictions? Who's writing the algorithms that decide your credit scores, your payroll decisions, and your political ads? These are no longer technical questions. They are constitutional. And unless developing nations begin investing in digital literacy, in sovereign tech ecosystems, in independent data governance, they risk becoming digital protectorates in a world where code is law. Let me say this clearly. The new colonialism is not coming. It is here. It hides in apps, permissions. It lives in smart cities funded by foreign loans. It thrives where leaders confuse access with autonomy. But knowledge is a first step to power. And power, once understood, can be reclaimed. I'm Brian Reuben. This is what the world is watching. where we don't just follow headlines. We decode the structures that shape the future. We'll see you next week. Until then, stay awake, stay sovereign, and never outsource your future.